5 minutes to my friend Scott Peters from California.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I guess we reached the point where if you don't like the content of a speech, you just insult the person who gave it. I've heard he's doesn't have the energy to be president. Then heard he's got too much energy, whatever. I think we're here to talk about budgets, and I'm sorry to hear that. But that's the common thing we get now. President Biden's proposal for fiscal year 2025 would lower the cost of child care for families, make health care more accessible to all, and help realize our clean energy future while cutting the deficit by nearly $3 trillion. I don't agree with everything in it. I think the $400,000 tax floor is probably unrealistic. I'm concerned about the lack of appreciation for private investment in life sciences. We have the life sciences leadership in our country. We're about to spend $50 billion to bring back an industry and chips that we let go. And I'm concerned about undervaluing the public-private partnership that life sciences is in this country. But the president's budget outlines a vision for America that I share, and now we have to talk about appropriations to implement that. Just this week, Republicans threatened to shut down ICE, CBP, and other Homeland Security agencies for their own political gain. And the immigration system has been broken for far too long. And Democrats agreed we need more resources at the southern border. That's why President Biden proposed billions of dollars in new funding and led bipartisan negotiations with the Senate on a comprehensive border package. That would have proposed more than $20 billion for border security. We could have increased the number of Border Patrol agents and asylum officers. We could have deployed more scanners to prevent the flow of fentanyl through ports of entry. We could have streamlined the asylum process in a way that would have made adjudication faster and kept people out who didn't qualify, which is about 90% of folks. And the 5,000 limit was the point at which you would be required to shut the border, mandatory shutdown, right? So it's not like when people complain about hundreds of thousands of people coming across, 5,000 was the point at which you had to do a mandatory shutdown. And we had a bipartisan agreement on that. Apparently 22 to 25 Republican senators were willing to vote for it until Donald Trump came out and said he was against it because he wanted the problem for his campaign. Not to solve, he didn't want us to solve the problem, independently elected people. And in the Senate, people with 6-year terms, 2/3 of them aren't even up for re-election. The deal was supported by the National Border Patrol Council, but they would rather campaign about the problem than actually do anything about it. And I think it's quite appalling. Americans are tired of that political theater, and they want leaders who will make the choices needed to solve big problems. And I have proposed a very practical thing, which is bipartisan, to help a number of hard decisions on taxes and spending through a bipartisan fiscal commission, and everybody hates it. The AARP was here when we did the hearing on it. I've heard from all the groups that they don't want to do anything with Social Security. Even as we watch 10 years from now, we're looking at across-the-board cuts. They say don't touch Social Security. That's the wrong answer. And since then, Newt Gingrich and Grover Norquist have come out hard against it because they're afraid it will raise taxes. Well, I think we must be in the right place. I think we must be in the right place. But you know, the point is that the politics here are as real as the numbers. That you need votes from both sides of the aisle to get this thing under control. I much prefer the values set out in the Biden administration's budget, but this process is not working. And personal insults won't solve it, by the way, either. I just do want to thank you, Director, for the work you did in this last budget, this last agreement that we'll vote on tomorrow on the South Bay International Wastewater Treatment Plant. It's a critical facility managed by the International Boundary Water Commission, and it's a threat to not just our communities, but to our Navy SEALs who train in the water. I had wonderful colleagues from across the political spectrum helping with that. We'll continue to work on that. We didn't get all the money we'll need, but we got all the money we needed to get started. And I think that's great. Director, I would just want to really thank you for your work. I'm proud to be part of a group of people on this Hill that are more concerned about getting things done and solving problems. than yelling at the other side. And I'll continue to work with you to do that. Again, sorry I don't have a question for you, but I do want to thank you.
That's
very much.
okay. And Congressman, I want to say that this budget also supports that critical project. We are sending SEALs somewhere else to train because the water is so dangerous to swim in. But I'm hoping we can find a way to get this done before even the fiscal year 25 process.
Well, bouncing from one friend from California to another